Test 1, 2, 3, 4. Testing, testing, testing. Testing.
Good afternoon. I'd like to call to order the annual reorganization meeting of the Pelham Union Free School District for the 2023-24 school year. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
So we'll have a reiteration of the executive session motions.
We entered executive session for the purpose of discussing a collective bargaining matter.
Thank you. All right, so first on the agenda is I'm going to administer the oath of office to our two newly elected Board of Ed trustees. I've got the official oath book here. All right, we'll start with Sydney Burke. I'll have you stand, please. And we'll start here.
Okay, you need me to read? Okay. I, Sydney Burke, do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of New York, and that I will faithfully discharge the duties of member of the Board of Education according to the best of my ability.
I'll have you sign here. Thank you.
No problem.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
This is Anne-Marie Garcia. I'll have you read this part here, and then we'll have you sign.
Okay. I, Anne-Marie Garcia, do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of New York, and that I will faithfully discharge the duties of member of the Board of Education, according to the best of my ability.
Have you sign here, right here,
Here and here.
just right here. Thank you, congratulations. We'll take photos after. Take photos. Great, so that's done. So next on the agenda is the election of the President of the Board of Education. So I'll call for a motion to nominate the President of the Board.
I would like to nominate Michael Owen McCain for president and Ian Rowe for vice president.
Just the President at this point,
Oh,
please.
Just one person.
Okay, do I have a second, please?
Second.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, thank you. So Michael, congratulations. I'll do the oath for you.
Okay. I, Michael Owen McShane, do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of New York, and that I will faithfully discharge the duties of President of the Board of Education according to the best of my ability.
Great. I'll have you sign here.
Okay.
You know what? Yeah, just sign here.
Sign here.
Yep. Thank you, congratulations.
Thank you.
So Michael, you'll accept a motion for vice president.
Okay, yes, motion for Vice President.
I would like to nominate Ian Rowe for vice president.
And second,
Second. What?
all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed, any abstentions? No? The motion carries
Congratulations.
unanimously. Thank you.
And that's your section here.
I, Ian Rowe, do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of New York, and that I will faithfully discharge the duties of Vice President of the Board of Education according to the best of my ability.
Thank you.
Yep.
Have you sign there? And congratulations.
Thank you. Okay,
Thank you.
onward.
So Michael, you do this part 5.
Okay. 5.1 is motion to appoint the district deputy clerk and district deputy treasurer. Do I have a motion to appoint Pauline?
So moved.
And second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed, any abstentions? No. So now,
I'll do the oath to you. I know it's all
Chair.
procedure.
okay.
So I'll come over there.
These are very important votes.
So I, Pauline Davies, do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of New York, and I will faithfully discharge the duties of District Clerk of the Pelham Union Free School District according to the best of my ability.
Thank you.
And finally, this is procedural. I'm going to administer the oath to Dr. Champ, Superintendent of Schools.
I, Cheryl Champ, do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of New York, and that I will faithfully discharge the duties of Superintendent of Schools of the Pelham Union Free School District according to the best of my ability.
Okay. Yeah.
Oh, that's a great idea. We can
Let's
do our
stop. We'll
new
pause
board
and do
photo,
that.
too.
Okay.
You want to stay? 50-page
Family
agenda.
photos. Pauline, are you doing the camera?
I'm camera girl as well, so.
All right. All right, family first.
Yep.
Yes.
6.3. Stay honest there.
Oh, that's why I should have dressed up.
See? Some of us were on top of it.
Yes.
Yeah, some of us are on top of it. The boys will be in the back. Usually the president is set front and center. Yep.
Vice President behind. All right, how about Natalie and Anne Marie? Got the website all year. Very good.
Like, go to the hair place. Get your nails done.
It looks like you just stepped off the wheel.
Yeah, sure.
All right, now down to
Okay.
business. I'm not going to steal Jim's joke. I'll let him.
You have a joke?
No, go ahead, deliver it.
Happy New Year, right?
Oh, uh-huh.
This is the finance stuff, but the other is, this meeting's a little bit like Thanksgiving dinner. It's weeks and months of preparation for everybody in all of our offices, putting everything together, and generally done pretty quickly. Within 30 minutes, we should have, it's mostly done, and
Should be
it's
getting
it's
to
all
dessert.
behind us, yeah. And they get sleepy later on.
Okay, so 6 board action and discussion items. I think we can do 6.1 through 6.15 as a consent agenda. Do I have a motion?
So
So
moved.
moved.
Second.
Any comments or questions?
There's a lot of this, and I do have to thank both Jim's office, Pauline, tremendous amount of work goes into this, everyone in Jim's office, Tracy's office as well, a lot of contracts on here that you're going to see throughout. So tremendous amount of hands went into making this happen today, so thank you to them. In this particular section, variety of, mostly designations for the year, designating different roles, permissions, et cetera, for a variety of areas of function of the district. Everything from financial designations, school attorney, cell phone authorizations for reimbursement, tuition rates, et cetera.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed, any abstentions? No. Section 7, approval of Committee on Special Education members and Committee on Preschool Special Education members. Okay. I think we can do 7.1 through 7.8 as a consent agenda. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second?
What's the motion to appoint the surrogate parent? I didn't see that last time.
Tracy, would you like to?
So if we have a student that maybe is homeless or in foster care and doesn't have a parent that can represent them, someone steps forward and can act as a surrogate parent on
Okay.
the committee.
Yep.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed, any abstentions? No. Okay, and then I would accept a motion to adjourn the annual reorganization meeting.
So moved.
We're not done. This is procedural.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed, any abstentions? Okay. All right, now, I'll call to order the business meeting of July 7th, 2023. And welcome, everybody, and excited to have our new members and be starting on our new year together. Our first item is 10.1, the minutes from the business meeting of June 21st. Do I have a motion to approve the minutes?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed, any abstentions? No. Next is public hearings. So I'd accept a motion to recess the business meeting and convene a public hearing on the draft district safety plan.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed, any abstentions?
Maybe Jim could highlight
Mhm.
any
Yeah,
updates or
just,
changes.
Thank you, and just share with the board. So the district-wide safety plan is a state-required plan that needs to be approved, updated and approved by the board every year, and it requires a 30-day public hearing period. So today, we'll begin the 30-day public hearing period, and prior to the beginning of school, we will ask the board to approve the district-wide safety plan. District-wide safety plan is a forward-facing document to the public. It's found on the district website, and it's updated every year, and it's compliant with the state's SAVE legislation, which really came out of the tragedy in Sandy Hook. This year, our safety plan, our district-wide safety plan, our Alteris representative, again, started that process, worked with our district administrators and our safety committee. This safety plan before the board has been previewed by our safety committee, and that what you have before you here is that plan. It also changes during the year, so if personnel change, we can update that, and we make this plan available to, in addition to this, we have building-wide safety plans, which are more confidential in nature, but they're made available, obviously, internally to our administrators and also to our public safety partners who have access to all of our building safety plans as well.
Okay. Any comments from the public on the district safety plan? No. So we'll revisit this.
At our August 30th meeting.
Mhm.
Yep.
Okay, so I'll accept
There have been material changes, some additions that the state put in. We're certainly a checklist for the adoption period. Some addition we added, there was Alyssa's Law, which is an optional law for panic buttons, which we already have in our schools. We do have panic buttons in different places throughout the school. We have addition of a threat assessment team, which is something that we've rolled out already, and we'll be rolling it out further. And then we have something that was put in by the state as a requirement is emergency remote instruction. May we never need it again, but it's required to be part of the plan. And of course, we updated the names, positions, and titles of those personnel that have changed.
Do we note that we have someone from Altiris is on full-time with us now, right?
Yes, we do.
When do they start full-time?
So they'll start 3 weeks before school begins. And fortunately enough, we'll have the same person who we've had in the last year on a half-time, on a 50% basis. So the familiarization with the district is there, and also the knowledge and the understanding of the organization. So again, for lead-up time or startup time, a less steep curve than we would have if we brought in a new person. So that's great too.
with the safety committee meetings, I think, the Pelham Manor, Village of Pelham, police and fire have come to those meetings and done training
Yes.
with district staff. And they're intimately aware of the safety plan and
They
have
are.
collaborated on.
They have access to it, and when we move forward to training for the beginning of the school year, we've already arranged with Village of Pelham Fire Department. They're going to provide some training to some of our employees for the beginning of the year during the superintendent's days at the beginning of the year. So we've already arranged that, and they were really helpful in this past year with helping with that training as well. So we try to really work closely together, and I think everybody does a really good job in communicating. So it's a very positive environment.
And we did we implement all of the changes that Senator Biaggi, we received a grant from her before?
So we have received a safety grant from Senator Biaggi.
Right.
We're working through the due diligence process right now. That'd be for cameras and access controls. So we're working through that right now prior to the final award.
Great.
Yes. Thank you.
Okay. Do I have a motion to close the public hearing on the district safety plan and convene a public hearing on the draft district code of conduct?
So moved.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed, any abstentions? No. So we're now in our public hearing on the draft district code of conduct.
Yeah, so again, this is another annual requirement. And we made just a small adjustment this year. Trying to find where, it should be around page 8. I think we're right. Yes, yeah. So this has to do with the students' rights and responsibilities section. With every right comes a responsibility. Number 1, in the student responsibility box, we added a phrase. So it says, to attend school daily, regularly, and on time, perform assignments, and the addition is here. Strive to do the highest quality work possible and be granted the opportunity to receive a good education. So that was the addition, really trying to speak more to students, the expectation and responsibility to remain fully engaged in classes at all times. Everything else has remained the same from prior years.
Dr. Champ, and this is given to every student at the day 1, right?
So this is posted on the website, and students are informed of it and parents and students are informed in what we used to call the summer mailing. Now it's basically electronic, so it's noted to them and they're directed to the link. We don't print the copy of it out anymore. What each of the buildings do, though, is they compile a student handbook that has kind of more of a plain language version of this, so that's another piece of the requirement. So what is in here, what they take is distill it down, developmentally appropriate language, and put the relevant pieces into the student handbooks. So it is always available on the website. And I know at the secondary schools in particular, the administrators go and visit classes or have assemblies. They take different approaches, but they're sure to review the pertinent pieces of the code of conduct with all students, and then they sign off that they've received the information and are aware of it.
And it was last year where we had sort of a major overhaul of, because there were more changes last year.
Yeah, last year we spent a lot of time, thank you for reminding me of
Yeah.
that. Try to block things out at time. No, we did spend a significant amount of time
Yeah.
last year updating because we had changed a lot of policies that had
Right.
ramifications for the code, so we spent time to align those. So yeah, so that was good work then. And that's one of the things as we continue through our work with policy committee. I know Pauline always keeps kind of a spreadsheet of our ongoing work, and every now and then we have to stop and go back and double check for those reasons.
Yep.
And I would add to that point, my understanding is policy supersedes code of conduct. So if we were to update a policy, for example, that changed something that was in the code, so if we approve this at our August meeting, and then the policy committee, for example, would change a policy in November,
Right.
the policy would govern. It would
Over
supersede
the-
the code of conduct because it's more updated, and it's the driving document for the Board of Education.
Okay.
And to that point too, we do try to make note on the website, where this is also housed on the district website, when there are changes, or at least a note that people should cross-reference board policy for the most
Specific
updated.
policy, yeah.
Dr. Chen, in 2023, I feel sort of obligated to ask this question.
Yes.
Oh, sorry. The question was, does the code of conduct do anything about ChatGPT and AI and like how students should approach that, or is it more? Is that already sort of covered in the plagiarism stuff, and people felt like things weren't necessary?
Yeah, we haven't, and Dr. Bowman will correct me if I'm wrong on this, we haven't specifically called out ChatGPT or AI in particular, but it definitely would fall within the plagiarism realm. But there's been a lot of conversation going on at the administrative level.
Yeah, so far we don't have anything specific to AI of any kind. However, our code of conduct and academic dishonesty and academic integrity does cover, it's a broader umbrella, so anything that you use that you didn't actually create or give credit to is plagiarism by definition. But quite honestly, right at the beginning of the year, we're going to, as an administrative team, start looking at how we are going to handle AI, both in terms of as professionals doing our jobs, what are the limits and what are the opportunities that we can have? How can we harness how can we harness AI as an instructional tool so that we're not, back kind of like a repeat of what happened when cell phones came into play or one-to-ones, and also really looking to see if we need to make any adjustments to our code of conduct based on the advent of AI. But as I said, right now, anything that you do that's academically dishonest, including using ChatGPT or any other open AI software and present it as your own, I think that's clearly, that's
Yeah.
plagiarism.
Yeah.
It'll definitely be an area of challenge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but I think I appreciate the effort, the direction that our administrators are taking in really not trying, like you said, to just shut it out and pretend it's not there, but how do we use this? What are the opportunities? How do we harness it? And how do we train ourselves and train our students? Dr. Bowman did a lovely poem at the administrative retreat, thanks to GPT.
But I gave it the byline.
She did give the
Didn't-
byline, absolutely.
I didn't take credit and didn't really want to either after I read it. I was like, I don't want anyone
As a
to
former
think I
English
wrote this.
teacher.
Sorry to sidetrack, but I find it very helpful, just as someone who, if you ever have trouble with procrastination, just to get a rough draft started. I mean, I think there's positive ways to use it, But yeah,
Yeah.
it sounds like those are the types of things you're considering.
Right, and teaching students to use it for its good, but know the limitations, and when does it go from using it for inspiration or as a template to follow, to create my own, to copy and paste and call it mine, you know? That's the instruction that has to happen. Because there are lots of college professors who are already having required parts of their syllabus include use of open AI. So to have our kids leave here, you know, having kind of pretended it doesn't exist or just kind of stopping it at the gate would not really be equipping the kids for the future that they're going to.
Right, so it's being incorporated into education, right?
Well, we're
Not-
to be
not
clear, we're
blocked out.
looking to see
Yeah.
how we can and should, like, what are our responsibilities to students to make sure that we're equipped. We haven't
Yeah.
formalized anything yet.
Yes.
We've been very much in the conversation of philosophy and how to break that out. But then looking to see, you know, we've already had some instances where students have submitted essays or other things. And, you know, back in the fall of last year, we talked about some of the issues of cheating that happened in math when we were virtual, right? That's really kind of a very similar lane that we have to make sure that we are really wrapping our heads around.
Yeah. I think I know that public school is not an industry, but every industry, every workplace is going through the same thing. How do we use it?
Yeah.
You know, do we not use it?
And as professionals, you know, I could use it as a template to start an email that I'm going to send. But if it's an email that's going out to the public, at what level of, like, how much of it is mine? And then I have to say with help from, and, you know, we've all, well, maybe you haven't, but I've heard tales of principals whose graduation speeches have been reused, and that's a career ender. And not, you know, you don't want to set anybody up to be in that situation either.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
Any comments from the public on that topic? No. So I'll accept a motion to close the public hearing on the draft district code of conduct and convene the business meeting.
So moved.
And second,
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed, any abstentions? No. Okay, so 12.1 is another opportunity for public comment. All right, we'll move on to financial reports and motions and do 13.1 through 13.63 as a consent agenda. So I'd accept a motion.
So moved.
And second?
Second.
Okay.
I don't know which one I did. Yeah.
Say one, two.
So here we have a significant amount of contracts. Jim could probably give us a little better
Yeah,
taste
I
of
think, again, this is the business part of the meeting, but this is the part of the annual reorganization. And I think this is part of our reset every year, in that we look at our vendors, and certainly we restart all of our agreements. And what you'll see on these 62, 63 items are what we believe we need to operate our school district for the upcoming year. Things related from healthcare to attorneys to accountants, lease agreements for our after-school programs, disposal of equipment. Again, just those day in and day out things that a school district needs to operate. And I think it's really important for the board to see this, and actually for the public to see this. This is just part of that reset and that reorganization of every year on how we start from the beginning again.
The final two, 13.62 and 13.63, which are kind of approval of donations. These don't have specific dollar amounts. This is just
like an authorization.
it's an authorization
accept.
to accept the money. This is not a
Yes.
so gratitude be bestowed upon the
Correct.
donor situation.
Yeah.
We're blessed with the generosity of those two groups, certainly. The PTAs and the extra, and the donations that come to the extra classroom activity funds. And those donations can come very fast for programs that people want to run very soon. And sometimes that can happen before a board can convene to accept a donation. So on a very narrow basis, the board has always provided this acceptance, or historically has accepted the acceptance of these donations from these two targeted organizations. And it's honestly, it is helpful, but we want to remain compliant.
And I think it was a couple years ago where we kind of settled into this
Yes.
approach, because we did have very often the PTAs wanting to contribute, whether it was to help with field trips, enrichment, a variety of ways in which they give. And every time it was kind of the question of, how does this work? Who do we give?
Yep.
So this authorization kind of opens the door and makes it as streamlined as possible. They submit a memo to the business office with the funds. This is in place, so it just makes it a very simple, seamless process. You know, Anne Marie was a fortunate partner in many of those conversations.
I would add too, we still may ask you to accept some
Larger ones in
significant
particular.
donations,
Yep.
and for that specific purpose.
Mhm.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed, any abstentions? Okay, moving on to policy monitoring and governance. And there are five policies that are up for second reading. The first one is the comprehensive student attendance policy. That was a required update.
Correct. This is one that we're required to review annually. We did review this with the team, no substantive changes. There was an update on one of the codes, I believe. I think it was the late to class code, potentially. I am asking the board to consider waiving the third reading on this one, because it is helpful to have a past attendance policy, so that, again, with those student handbooks that the school has put together for the students for the fall, better to know that we've got a past policy. So would just ask the board to consider waiving that third motion and approving this tonight.
Okay, so accept a motion to waive the third reading for the attendance policy, 7110.
So moved.
Second.
Any comments or questions?
And how does this work? How does this work? Is the number of readings required by law, and the third one is optional, or is that just?
It's embedded in our board,
Policy.
we have a board policy about board policies.
Okay.
And in there, it specifies the procedures. Generally, we do three.
But the third could be waived.
Correct.
Got it.
Yeah, I think there's even a situation recently, I think we waived the second and third. But yeah, generally, we've done three, but certainly with waiving of the third is not uncommon.
Got it. Thanks.
Okay, so we're voting on waiving the third reading. So all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed, any abstentions? No. So now I would accept a motion to approve policy 7110, the comprehensive student attendance policy.
So moved.
Second.
Can I just add one piece? I was incorrect on what I said. It wasn't the late to class change. It was number 18, homebound, is being changed to alternate placement. Just wanted to be correct for the record on that.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed, any abstentions? No.
Excellent, thank you.
And the other policies were not as urgent.
Correct. So district investments, purchasing are annual approval policies as well. There's no changes on those. I know Jim would not mind if we waived a third, but there's certainly not the same level of urgency to those. So no changes on those. Actually, no, purchasing, I take that back. District investments, no change. Purchasing, the attorneys did make some recommendations to the committee about some minor tweaks for clarity. So you can see there the underlined portions. So subject to certain exemptions, the general municipal law requires the purchase of contracts for materials, et cetera. The next paragraph, the educational and physical welfare of the students is the foremost consideration in making any purchase. I think that was something that was moved. On the next page, we added national cooperative contracts as provided by law. And that's to delete that because it wasn't necessary, because it's embedded in law. Under competitive bidding, the addition of the phrase, when an exemption to competitive bidding is not applicable. Again, that was a clarifier. Pauline, there's a blurry spot on the bottom of page 2. I don't know if it's just my Mac version or
I
if
see it
it's.
too.
Okay. It's not required in the following circumstances if time is a crucial factor, I believe is what it says. So that wasn't a change, it's just the blurriness of the copy. And I think that's about it for that.
And the district investments one, even though there's no change, this is one of those policies that just by law has to be sort of re-upped annually.
Correct, yep, and purchasing as well.
Plain vanilla treasuries and agencies. That's collateralized too.
Yep. Budget planning and development, again, that was a very small tweak with the addition of, in the first paragraph, and be guided by the direction of the Board of Education or designated committee, which was just a clarifier to fit our practice. And finally, 14.5, policy 6215. The changes there really were, that was probably the most significant change. That was to update the policy to align with the current APPR law.
What's APPR?
APPR is Annual Professional Performance Review. It's a teacher and principal evaluation process. So that is embedded in legislative statute, I believe. So this brings it into alignment. All right,
Okay.
there we go.
So we'll move on to 15 superintendent's personnel recommendations. And I think we can do 15.1 through 15.4 as a consent agenda. So I'll
So
accept.
moved.
Second.
Did we approve the 14s?
We just did the second reading of those.
Oh,
We'll do the
okay.
approval
So
next
we'll
time.
see them
Sorry.
again, yeah,
Gotcha.
at our next meeting.
Sorry, is it Ian on this one?
Yeah,
personnel?
I'm so moved.
Yeah.
Okay, and second? Thank you.
Okay.
Okay, and here you're going to see a lot in this category, and actually, I'm not sure if I even put the note out to the board yet. There's a lot of hiring that happens in the summer. We will be asking to do a very brief business meeting on the 9th when we're back for our next retreat day, predominantly for hiring, because we don't have another business meeting between now and August 30th. And there's a lot of hiring that goes on in that time, whether it's instructional hiring, support staff in particular, a tremendous amount. So what you have on tonight is the first taste of that. A lot of instructional hires. In some cases, it's defining the part-time adjustments, hiring leave replacements, probationary positions, so a variety of vacancies that are necessary for the functioning of the schools. And the extra duty appointments, that relates to appointments relating to the summer program, to make sure that we're fully staffed for the summer program, and that's kicked off really well. Both Summer Stars, the middle school programs, and our extended school year program are up and running, thanks to the efforts of Tracy, Alice, the administrative team. I think we have Ms. Carr, Mr. Llewellyn, and Dr. Thompson overseeing our summer programs this year, sharing that responsibility here in the building in the middle school. So thanks to them for all the hard work, assisted by Kate Alex, I believe, as well. So really excited about that. So appointments related to that. On the instructional side, some substitute teachers. Always try to get more of those because there's never enough. And then in the non-instructional category, this is hourly, establishing the hourly rates for a variety of personnel across the district. In particular of note is the non-represented groups, including our safety and special education monitors.
Okay. Any other comments or questions on that? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed, any abstentions? No. Okay, 16.1 is motion to approve Schedule D. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed, any abstentions? 17.1 is new business. We're good. 18 is another opportunity for public comment. Okay. And then I would accept a motion to adjourn the business meeting and reconvene in the board retreat.
So moved.
Okay.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed, any abstentions? No.
All right, well done. Thanksgiving dinner, that's the best analogy I've heard in a long time.
Did you break the record?
Maybe, that was under an hour. That, and that, under an hour including.